Buddy, so today's one a day is what's your pleasure? Okay, so you know what, you can always tell what a person's like by what they do with their spare time. What do you do in your spare time? Because what you do in your spare time defines you. Okay, it's part of your personality. So I really want you to do that this week. I want you to take a look at the spare time you have, and I want you to write down what you do. What do you do in your spare time? Do you go to a bar to drink? Do you drink at home? What's your pleasure? Do you believe that your pleasure is having a glass of wine every day? Well, I will tell you, if you need a glass of wine every day to relax, then you haven't learned how to connect to your breath, and you are described as being an alcoholic, because if you have to have a glass of wine every day, you are an alcoholic. Now, are you a terrible alcoholic? No, you're not. But the reality is, are your pleasures, okay, beautiful habits that create a joyful day and joy around you and joy for your family and everybody else? Or do the habits you have, are they creating depression, anger, misery, okay, inflammation in your body? Okay, because look, if you need to have a toke every day or 2 or 3 times a day, what does that say about you and managing your emotions? If you have to have a drink every day, what does that say about managing your emotions, okay? So is your pleasure eating? And then the reality is, if your pleasure is just eating, then we know that you have anxiety, and we know that you're trying to tame the monkey mind, because whenever you're eating, you're keeping yourself busy. Have you ever been around somebody that is continually nibbling? Well, that person is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. They're on the verge of anxiety. They're on the verge of panic attacks, okay? So my pleasure is eating, but eating good foods, okay? My pleasure is getting high on life. My pleasure is no longer partying, because the word partying means that we're usually doing drugs or we're doing alcohol. My pleasure is celebrating my God-given life, this beautiful body. You know, my pleasure is going to be celebrating every day, looking young, feeling young, having tons of energy. And it definitely stands out when I go out into the public and everybody's complaining about their aches and their pains. They don't have energy today. Everybody can have it. So understand something right now. So what is your pleasure? And take a look at the things that you do to pleasure yourself. And then you're going to find out if you're running a self-love program or I need love program. Yeah, or you're going to be running a self-hate program, or you're running a I hate program. So understand, there's only love and there's only hate. There's only 2 emotions. Everything else falls underneath love and hate. Whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. And if you think love is the answer, well, guess what? Love is the cancer. Because if you think that you can go around and fill up your heart with love from everybody else, you are going to be left with a broken heart. Remember, your heart actually records all your affairs, relationships with yourself and everyone else. Why do you think people are dying of heart disease more than anything else? And then they die of cancer second to that, because guess what? Cancer is based on fear and hate and all those other negative emotions. And if you totally loved yourself and embraced yourself, and your pleasures were actually pleasures. You know, there's nothing wrong with pleasuring yourself. Ask yourself how you can bring pleasure to yourself today. The majority of the population spends 2% of their day in joy. I spend at least 95% of my day in joy. And no matter what you do to pleasure yourself, and no matter how much you love yourself, you know what? The SHIT is still going to hit the fan. There's still going to be chaos in your life, but connecting to your breath and saying, I am not going to care about people who do not care. Did you get that? I'm going to tell you something. You caretakers out there, you're killing yourself. You make sure that you're caring for people that actually care what you're doing. Okay? I talk to people every week, and it's usually women. And guess what? They have no pleasure left. Okay? They believe that they're supposed to be caretakers to someone who doesn't care about eating right, living right, loving right. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a Q&A on Monday, and I think I'm going to have to be doing Q&As on Monday and Friday, because I actually have 19 questions for tomorrow that I didn't get answered on Friday. So I'm going to keep being there for everyone, because you are my pleasure. And do you know why you're my pleasure? Because we all came from the same place, no matter what religion you are. If you have a religion, you don't have a religion, whether you like it or not, we're all from the same place. And we're going to go back to that same place. And we're all family. And I'm going to prove that my words are true. And I'm not just saying this, okay? God bless everybody. And I'll always be here to answer your questions, all right? And what's your pleasure? And understand something. If you're not having fun with your day, maybe you need to eliminate some of those pleasures that aren't pleasures because they're actually addictions. Maybe you need to eliminate some relatives. Maybe you need to eliminate some friends that aren't friends anymore. You know what? This is how it goes. When you change, your friends will change unless your friends change with you. Good luck with that one. Remember something. You came here alone for this adventure called Earth, and get to love yourself and find out what your pleasures are. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much you pleasure yourself or you hate yourself, nobody else cares. It's all about you. It's always been about you. This is not about selfishness. This is about being centered in yourself and just enjoying every day from the moment you wake up until you go to bed. Right now, I got a bit of a headache today. You know why? Because I ate something yesterday. You know what? Food is my kryptonite, and I don't know why. Maybe it's all psychological, but if I don't eat things that are right, boom, I've got a headache. But guess what? I'm still having the best day of my life because life is the pleasure. God bless.